My name is David Thomas Smith. I retired out as a Navy career counselor, Master Chief, submarine qualified. How I got in my particular job field as a fire control technician who would take care of the missiles on board ship, or the torpedoes in that case. In boot camp, I scored very well on the ASVAB because I'm a reader. And he says, "You like to read, don't you?" I says, "Yeah." He says, "Well, your verbal shows that." He says, "How would you like to be a fire controlman?" I says, "Not interested in fighting fires. I just want to go into something electronics that I can use." He says, "Yeah, no. I says, "Fire controlman take care of the computers on board ship that aim the big guns and fire the guns." I said, "Okay, I could do that." So at that time, they were giving you an extra $50 to go into special electronics. They call it advanced electronic field. So I said, sure. So I got $55 extra going through boot camp, more than my contemporaries at that time. And then when I get to boot camp, the guy says, "Hey, you scored pretty good." He says, "The Navy's looking for submarine sailors. How would you like to be a submariner?" I said, "I don't know about that." He says, "I'll give you an extra $55. I says, "I'll take it." So I wound up going through boot camp with $110 more than my contemporaries. This was 62. That was a lot of money. So that was how I kind of like got in. And then from boot camp, of course, I went to New London, Connecticut, sub school. Well, for one thing, whether you know it or not, most blacks don't care for water. We're not swimmers. We don't like getting water. And I was the exception because in high school, I was on the swim team. And I was a diver on the swim team. So that was kind of like the other thing that made me decide on the Navy. When I got to sub school, again, culture shock, because all the systems and stuff they were talking about, I had no idea. It's just strictly had to just learn. Social life was so I met my best military buddy in boot camp. Matter of fact, he was from Mobile, Alabama, and I was from Selma. And at that point in time, if somebody had told me that my best friend was going to be a white boy from Mobile, Alabama, I'd have asked him, "What are you smoking?" Because somebody here is. But it turns out he became my best friend, and we're still friends to this day. He's submarine qualified also. So at sub school, we helped each other, we tutored each other, helped each other. To me, I guess one of the most traumatic event was what they had back then, was called the blow and go, where they would take you down to 50 feet in a chamber and then shove you out through an airlock, and you had to come to the surface without any breathing apparatus. You just kept your mouth open, because as you came up, the pressure released itself off your lungs, and the air in your lungs expanded, and so it would you would come out. But once I got past that, it wasn't too bad. It was interesting. I met a lot of people, both in boot camp and sub school. I had a real genuine Hawaiian kid in my boot camp. I had an American Indian in my subclass. And like I say, people were just from all over. And sub school wasn't that bad. We learned to get along, because the weak ones, the ones that didn't want to be there, washed out. They were gone. So overall, it was pretty good.